That's a nice looking truck. Today we're going to replace the brakes on that 2010 Toyota Tacoma. Nice. So just out of curiosity, he said, check my brakes. Yeah, there's not much left between the backing plate and the rotor. Now, if you didn't have to turn rotors or replace anything like this boot that's like come off of here, then you don't have to take the caliper off. You can just pull the pins, you can compress the piston back and then replace just the pads without removing the caliper. But since we're going to replace these boots, it's going to be easier with the caliper off. I'll first remove the brake line, go into the caliper. That was a little tight. Well, if I just undo this one and then that clip, then I don't have to loosen that one. Keep the mess to a minimum. Let's remove the caliper mounting bolts. Pull these pins out. Inside's not too bad, but the outside, that was down to not very much left. Well, it's a good thing we got a new boot kit for this. Boot off of there. That ring's disconnected already. Now if your rotor is stuck on, this one I didn't have to work at it at all. 8mm by 1 1/4 thread pitch screw goes right in there. I like to use anti-seize on the threads. Sometimes you'll have to tighten them kind of tight to get it to come out. Looking at this rotor, it's got some grooves on the edges. So I'll measure this, see if it's turnable. All right, this caliper is covered in grease, so let's see what's inside of there, where it's leaking. Pull this, somebody used a regular cotter pin on this side. We're going to need to replace this O-ring right here to prevent it from leaking anymore. Right there. Let's pull this O-ring out. Not an O-ring, but a flat washer. Let's clean these up a little. Don't worry, I'm going to clean up with brake clean later. We're not going to have any WD-40 residue left on this after I'm done. This is just to help get this all cleaned up. It's going to be all pretty by the time we're done with it. I just had to get out my parts washer for this. As soon as I'm done with that, I'll take off the gloves in case there's any holes in them. Alright, let's see what's in the caliper rebuild kit. 4 rings, 4 boots, 4 retainer rings, and 2 O-rings. Alright. Call me crazy, but we'll try this out. Got one out. There we go. Alright, let's pull these rings out. goes in. All right, let's pop the other side apart. And I'll just have to plug that side while we do this one. Ouch. All right, let's try this way. Let's just slide that down to the ring. There we go. Alright, I just needed an extra hand to hold that. Hopefully this works. And this should pull right out. Yep, there we go. Pull the old rings out. New rings going in. Alright, let's lubricate this with some brake fluid. Put these pistons back in. There we go. Okay, we'll put the new washer, rubber washer right there, and let's bolt this back together. Number one, just to zip these in real quick here. I'll just torque them later. Okay, now all the critical seals are good on this, so this side back on. Oh, and if you ever forget which side the caliper goes on, remember the bleeder always goes up top. All right, let's load up this caliper. Now notice these brake pads, two of them have squealers, so we'll put one squealer on each side. We have our new hardware kit here. This hardware kit will do two sides. The caliper rebuild kit only does one side. All right, I'll put the squealer on the inside. Before I do that, let's lube up the slide pin a little bit here. I'll put a little bit of caliper lube on the ends that get pushed against the caliper when you're braking. Some on the other pad too. Install these clips. That is about ready to put on the truck. Alright, I think I got it. This is what I was doing wrong. I didn't have these up like that. I don't know if that spring's formed exactly right, but it looks like it's holding now. So we'll go with it. I forgot to turn the camera on when I put the first boot on. There's an anti-corrosion coating on these that needs to come off before we install the rotors. I like to put a little anti-seize around this centering circle so that next time we have to pull the rotors off, you don't have to beat them off with a hammer. Let's reconnect the brake hose or brake line. I have this little plug in here it was just to keep it from getting messy. Trying to pull it out. Come on, there it is. That thing there. Now I'll pull this one out of here. Next I want to install this brake line keeper right here. Just installed that clip right there. Well, I'll tighten these to 91 foot-pounds. These guys to 25. Well, I got this rotor on. I was all set to do the other side, so these are the two boxes for the two rotors that we ordered. 980670R, 980670R, but this bottom box is a little bigger. Why is that? Well, I was all ready to put it on and saw that it was 8 lugs. I'm like, hey, 8-lug rotor is not going to fit on a 6-lug. Misboxed. So Scott posts on Instagram that his rotor came in wrong, and one of his followers says, hey, I got some extra rotors and pads that you can have for free. So he just goes and picks them up. I mean, wow. There you go. Drilled and slotted, front passenger side. Hook up this brake line. Alright, let's bleed these brakes. Starting in the back rear. The rear right. Alright, let's turn this on. Where'd my wrench go? It's a 10mm wrench, so I'm not surprised that it would just decide to up and walk away. Anyone seen a 10mm combination wrench? Oh, there it is. And since there wasn't one, we're going to give him a little bleeder cap right there. Pop that on there. This one has a cap, yeah. Did 2 pumps of the brake pedal. And the front driver's side is the last one.